Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Michelle. My channel is Literally Me, and I'm here to talk about books. Today, I want to talk to you about the books I got on my budget thrift book haul. Yesterday, I decided to go and treat myself to $25 worth of whatever books I could find there. Had no idea how many or what they'd have. As you know, if you've ever gone to a thrift store before, the inventory is constantly changing. It's a scavenger hunt. Sometimes you find trash, other times you find treasures. So that's what makes it fun to me. And I'm sure everybody who likes to thrift would agree. I found this winter particularly long and difficult, so I just needed a little bit of budget retail therapy, if you will, to lift my mood. And it did. I was really happy with what I got, and I wanted to share it with you because I know you'll all appreciate where I'm coming from with this. So here we go. First book I found was from an author I love, who I've read a couple of his previous books. One of my favorites of his from 2014 is a book called The Bone Clocks. Great book, great speculative fiction if you enjoy that. If you love Emily St. John Mandel's books, you might like that one. But David Mitchell is the author I'm talking about, and I found his book called Black Swan Green in my thrift store. I've been curious about this one. It sounds really character driven, which I love. Very, maybe a little bit weird. I'm not sure. You follow a young protagonist named Jason, I believe. It takes place in post-war England in 1982, post-Cold War England, I should say, in 1982. And we follow several different characters going through it, and can't wait to read this one. So yeah, that was my first find of the day. The second book I want to talk about is by a hugely popular author of domestic thrillers. I love me a good domestic thriller. D over at the Reading Room, check out his channel. He featured a whole discussion and a review of Frida McFadden's book, The Crash. I found this one, The Perfect Son, yesterday. And I was excited to find this one. Not only was it the only Frida McFadden book in the bookstore or the thrift store, this one centers around a child who's accused of a crime. And I just love a domestic thriller that focuses on a messed up child, a kid who might be evil, a kid who is not what they appear to be. I loved The Push by Ashley Audrain, so I am hoping I'm going to love this one. I also love discovering a new author. This is my first Frida McFadden, as I said, and I really look forward to reading this and seeing if it works for me. I will let you know in the future. The next one I found that I had heard a lot about from someone whose opinion I respect. It's Ann Patchett who was talking about this on her YouTube channel. She has a little bookshop in Nashville called Parnassus Books. I don't know if you've ever seen any of her content, but anyway, one day she was talking about Michael Ondaatje and the book In the Skin of a Lion. So I've been looking for this. It's been kind of hard to find. I was really happy to find it at the thrift store. And I've never read from him before. Shocking, I know. I'm not sure how that happened. I know a lot of his books have been adapted to film, and Ann Patchett was saying that this was one of her favorites, if not her favorite book by him. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. It's just a wee little book. It's about, just over 200 pages. So I'm thinking I should be able to, read this hopefully in one sitting or something like that. And I'll let you know in the future what I thought about it. The next one is a funny book. I'm hoping it will be highly entertaining. I had to pick it up based on the title, which is The Last Werewolf by Glenn Duncan. I love magical realism. I enjoy fantasy. I enjoy a good werewolf or vampire trope every now and then. This one, we are following a 200-year-old werewolf who's become really disenchanted with life. He's having an existential crisis. And I'll just read you the synopsis from the back, what information they give us here. Jake Marlowe is the last werewolf. Now just over 200 years old, Jake has an insatiable appetite for good scotch, books, and the pleasures of the flesh, and with a voracious libido and a hunger for meat that drives him crazy each full moon. Yikes. Although he is physically healthy, Jake has slipped into a deep existential crisis and is considering taking his own life and ending a legend that has lived for thousands of years. But there are two dangerous groups, one new, one ancient, with reasons of their own for wanting Jake kept very much alive. So, this is a story of survival, a story of being pursued by two dangerous groups. I don't know what to expect. I've never heard of this author before, and this should be a fun one. Hopefully, I'll have a lot to say about it. When I read a book, my best hope is that it'll entertain me. Whether it's good or bad isn't as important as, my time invested in reading it and the experience I have with it. So, yeah, I'm going to go into this with an open mind and hope for the best. The next book I'm excited to tell you about is a really new release that came out, I believe, in 2024. It's either 24 or 23. I'm just checking. Yeah, it was 2024. I found this hardcover edition of All Fours by Miranda July. I've heard a lot of good things about this by both book critics as well as everyday readers alike. It sounds weird. It sounds gripping. It sounds like maybe a deviant character. It's about a woman who goes on a road trip. She's married, but she goes on this road trip and makes a hasty decision to go off the beaten path, and an adventure ensues from there. She goes through some kind of mental health issue of some type. I'm not sure, but from what I've heard, this book is very polarizing. A lot of people either love it or hate it. A lot of people love it. I'm hoping to be one of the people who loves it. Full disclosure, I did actually borrow this from my library last year when it came out, but I had been on a waiting list for so many books and they all came in at the same time. So I didn't have time to read all of them. I read a few pages of this and I don't think I was in the right mood to read this type of book. So I ended up returning it to the library without having read it. Therefore, I was really happy when I saw this at the thrift store. And, a hardcover book like this retails for about $40 here in Canada. So yeah, with my $25 budget, I think I made out pretty well. And this one was I think it was $7 for this one. But yeah, so looking forward to reading this. Hope I love it or hate it. Either way, I hope it's just not boring. That's my worst case scenario if a book is just boring. So I have a good feeling about this one though. So just to recap, All Fours by Miranda July, The Last Werewolf by Glenn Duncan, Michael Ondaatje, In the Skin of a Lion, Frida McFadden, The Perfect Son, and Black Swan Green by David Mitchell. So I did stay within my budget. These books cost me $24.96. I think it's a pretty good haul for $25. Anyway, I look forward to hearing about your experiences thrifting books. What's your best deal that you've ever had? Do you enjoy thrifting books or do you rather buy new books? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.